Okay, hi everyone. Thank you so much for being here for our first High School Ambassadors personal development session, where we give you all a brief overview of the behind the scenes of TEDxPenn and how we can make this conference happen. My name is Erin, and I am a member of the marketing team for TEDx.
My name is Zachary, and I'm also on the marketing team. Today's session is all about how we make this event happen. Organizing a TEDx event is a challenging yet rewarding process that we can't wait to tell you all about. That's the
So,
next slide.
who are we? In the spirit of ideas worth spreading, TED has created a program called TEDx. And at TEDxPenn, live speakers will spark deep discussion and connection. So, the TED conference provides general guidance for the TEDx program, but individual TEDx events are self-organized. TEDxPenn was founded in 2010 by students to spark powerful ideas within the vibrant University of Pennsylvania and greater Philadelphia community to challenge ideas and create a positive impact on the world. And today, TEDxPenn talks have amassed over 15 million views. TEDxPenn is the world's largest student-run TEDx conference.
Okay, so here I'll talk a little bit about how we divide up the work for organizing this event. So one thing that's really great about TEDx events specifically is that every event is run a little bit differently. So if you decide to run your own event, you'll all of this will be up to your discretion. But our specific event is comprised of curators. This year we have two, and they act kind of like the CEO, and they oversee all of the event planning and are more on the executive side of the TEDx conference planning. We also have 5 separate committees, which are speaker and content, marketing, design, finance, and operation. All of them are pretty self-explanatory. You can read the short descriptions, and I'm sure that they will send out this presentation after if you want to look at this again. But later in this, you'll hear from from members of all of these committees, so you can get a little bit of a better understanding for yourself.
Okay, has anyone watched Gilmore Girls? If so, you'll get this little reference about the year in the life, but it's pretty easy to understand. As you can see on this timeline, we go through different phases for planning the conference, like going through a year, experiencing the different seasons. In our case, we've split up the life of TEDxPenn conference into 2.
Yes, so we like to think of our work throughout the year in 2 different stages. You can think of our fall semester as sort of the ideation stage, and then the spring semester as execution of what we've basically thought up and drawn up in the fall. So fall semester, we think of August to December is brainstorming, discussing with others, coming up with ideas for the conference. And then our spring semester, which would be January to April, is focused on finalizing our planned activities and making sure they come to fruition. So every one of our teams takes parts in each phase of the year, and we'll talk about that a little bit next.
Okay, so to break down our fall phase, we start off with the ideation period, especially when you have a big conference in the spring. It's really important to use your fall semester wisely. So for instance, for our ideation phase, we have coffee chats for team bonding, and that's led by our amazing operations team. And then we also choose our theme selection for the overall conference, and that's done by all of our teams. Then we'll do our speaker selection, and that includes a bunch of auditions and other really fun activities, and that's led by our speaker and contents team. And then we also have sponsorship outreach, and that's led by our finance team, merch design, led by our amazing design team, and then our ambassadors who brought you all here today, done by the marketing. So for our theme activity, we like to screen, okay. We want to draw out our past themes.
We can skip over that even if
Okay.
you want.
Yeah, we'll go right into what the spring looks like.
So in the spring, again, this is our sort of execution stage. You can think of it as that. And we start with basically speaker liaisons. So in January, we'll assign each of our, since we have our speakers nailed down, we'll assign somebody from each committee in the team to a certain speaker, and they'll be communicating with that speaker and sort of guide them in all fronts. In that speaker liaison process, you're going to be working with those speakers all the way till basically March, until the actual conference. And then after that, we do sort of speech development. That's our S&C committee, and they'll talk a little bit more about that. And February, we'll get into sort of speaker logistics, their travel plans and whatnot. And then the ambassador exhibits, which our high school ambassadors are currently working on, are projects that they'll actually present, will be presented at the TEDx conference. And then normally the actual conference day is early April, and this year it's April 6th. I think that's about it.
Great. So as previously mentioned, our event is divided into 6 distinct sections, but we also wanted to highlight the importance of the cooperation between all of the teams. While all of the teams do different things, we frequently work together to make sure that we're collaborating effectively and curating an event in everyone's vision. Let's now hear from members of each team, starting with the curators, Tarunya and Clarice.
Hey guys, hope you can hear me all right. I'm Clarice. It's really nice to meet you all. First, I want to thank Zach and Aaron from the marketing team, as well as our lovely co-directors from marketing team, Avia and Rachel, for introducing the workshop and getting you guys interested and informed about TEDxPenn. As Zach introduced, myself and Tarunya, who's also here, I believe. Tarunya, can you say hi just to make sure?
Hi.
Hi, yeah, so that's Trinia. We are both students at Penn and have been on the team in previous years and are leading the conference for the 2024 year. Trinia, do you want to talk a little bit more about what got you into TEDxPenn and what you've done on the team in previous years?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Clarice. This is kind of like something I don't like to reveal about myself because it's a bit cringe. But when I was in high school, I think I was like in 11th grade, we had a TEDx youth conference at my high school. So I gave a talk. And the reason why I keep it hidden is because the talk was kind of cringe. And like looking back on it, I was like, maybe what was I yapping about? But I feel like that's kind of what got me started with TEDx. I think the reason why I really enjoyed it is because I feel like in school, you're always learning for something, whether it is for like a grade or for a job or for a college. But then with TEDx, you're just learning for the sake of learning. And that's my main thing. I feel like I wanted to communicate because you guys are all in high school, and I feel like high school sometimes takes away the joy of learning, but we hope to rekindle that with TEDx. But then once I joined college, like I just kind of continued it. I feel like TEDx is a really good way to kind of learn all of these organizational skills that Avia, Rachel, Zach, and like Erin have all talked about. I feel like if you really want to make a change in the world, like these type of organizations just give you the experience to like do it. And although these slides make it look so orderly, it actually is like it is chaotic. Like that is life. That's like how if anything works, honestly. And I think these type of organizations gives you that insight. But honestly, I know that everyone here is like applying to colleges and are trying to like find their place. Honestly, we all are too. We just hope to kind of like if you ever need like mentorship or anything, like I'm studying electrical engineering. I originally applied as a physics major, but I'm sure we can all like drop our emails in the chat at the end if you want to like reach out to us personally. I've like personally like looked over the essays of like many of my friends too, but so yeah, reach out to us. But that's a bit about me.
Yeah, as for me, so maybe like in the next couple slides for all the representatives from each team, we can talk about what we currently study at Penn. So Trinia mentioned she's doing electrical engineering. I'm also doing like engineering. I'm doing computer science in the engineering school. But I would like to say that what's really special and unique about TEDx is that it joins together people from all different schools, all different interests, all different fields to come together and bring this conference into fruition, give it life, bring like a lot of diversity, get speakers from different backgrounds into the speaker lineup. And that's what makes it really special. I would say that my experience stumbling upon TEDxPenn was pure coincidence. I was helping out my friend who was leading the conference at our high school, and I was really into event planning and I really wanted to help them out with their exhibits. So I jumped on their team. I got to know a little bit about how the TEDx conference is run, and that's why I wanted to join here at Penn. And I feel like with the team joining, I joined the operations team in my first year with TEDxPenn. You really get to know the ins and outs of how it's almost like a business is run. You get to work with people, implement your networking skills, and then just learn a lot more about different fields that you would never really dive into academically. So yeah, just echoing what Trinia mentioned earlier. Yeah, is there anything else, Trinia, you want to mention? Otherwise, I'll hand it off to the next team.
No, that's it for me.
Okay, awesome. So I believe Erica and Rohan, take it away.
Hello, my name is Erica. I'm a sophomore in the college studying criminology and data science and analytics. So I'm one of the co-directors of finance. So just to like give a brief overview of like what we do, it's it's basically like outreach to potential sponsors and then working with them, including like hotels or like restaurants that could provide in-kind donations to us. And then also applying to like funding sources, and yeah, and then like helping out the day of. What I like about like TEDxPenn is like, as like Clarice and Tiernia mentioned, it's like you can interact with like so many different people. It's like it requires so much cooperation. And that like me working in finance, I would need to talk to like marketing or like operations to discuss like what would happen with like sponsors. And it requires a lot of coordination, which I'm not like the best at, but it's a really good experience to have and to improve skills here. So what got me into TEDxPenn was my previous experience at TEDxU Tokyo in Japan. It was not as big as TEDxPenn here, but it was, to me, it was a pretty big conference. And I was really impressed by how there were like so many sponsors that were supporting it. And I figured that like without these sponsors, it wouldn't be such a big and like successful event. So that was what made me want to sort of get into like partnerships and getting funding for the event, because that's a really big part of making an event really successful. And in terms of like working in finance, I don't like study anything related to finance or anything, but I think what I feel is important is like the importance of like thinking about like the other party of like, for example, like if Insomnia Cookies is sponsoring us, like what are they seeking from us? Like thinking about that in terms of like when you do outreach or like working with them and like meeting with them, is what I found to be really important over like the past year. Yeah, and also I found that like planning ahead of time is really important. Like there's a lot of things that I've been learning through working in finance and like the TEDxPenn team as a whole. And yeah, I look forward to this year's conference. That's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Erica. It's amazing how much like you learn from just doing your job in TEDxPenn. Like you don't have a finance background, you don't learn or like take classes in finance, but you can still do an amazing job. Erica and Rohan do a flawless job on the TEDxPenn team with finance. So that just goes to show how you can get like any experience you want with this opportunity. But we're going to move on to Stephen. I believe he's here from the speaker and content team.
Hi guys, I'm Steven. I'm the co-director of Speaker and Content team. My other co-director unfortunately cannot be here today, but I'll be really happy to talk to you guys about what we do on the Speaker and Content team. Very similar to Tarunya, I also did a lot of TED-style events and TED-style activities when I was in high school. I was also very passionate about this idea of TED to be not, a goal-oriented, to be not about, colleges, not about college apps, not about internships, not about jobs. The reason why you do TEDx is purely just for, this idea of spreading knowledge, this idea of bringing together people with really cool ideas about how the world can be a better place, and they can come together at a conference and talk to a bunch of people who are also very passionate about these, just idea-driven actions and idea-driven speeches, instead of being about something very, very pragmatic or practical. So I think that TEDx is a place where people can dream and they can utilize their imaginations to, and also use public speaking as a common media for people to, share these imaginations and be really happy with, the ideas and stuff. So definitely that's the reason why I decided to do TEDxPenn. I wanted to continue what I did in high school into college and keep doing, these things that we can do with our voices to make the world a different place. And on the speaker and content team, as I believe Erica talked about before, during the fall, we also work mainly on ideation while we work on execution more during the spring. So during the fall, our team conduct a lot of speaker outreaches. We find the people with cool ideas on the internet and in the Penn alum databases and around the world. And we ask them if they would like to be involved in the TEDxPenn conference annually. And if they do, we host an audition for them in December for them to come participate. And we select the best speakers to actually go into the conference in April. And during the second half of the year, in the spring semester, we utilize the time to help these speakers develop their speech as well and make sure that they're in good shape to go to the conference. And finally, on the conference day, we present to everybody what we've been using the past year to build for them. And we put together an amazing event for people to come to learn from the speakers, and also to give the speakers a great platform to share their ideas and have an audience to listen to. Me personally, I have absolutely enjoyed my work on the TEDxPenn team. I met a lot of amazing people here who are both, they're smart, they're hardworking, and they're also amazing people who share this belief that this world should be driven by something that is not as, object oriented or goal oriented. It is just about, these very dreamer things, about these things that you can just imagine and stuff like that. So yeah, I've enjoyed my time here, and I believe that if I have advice to share with the high school students about applying to college or applying to clubs or leading your own clubs in high school, it's about, I guess not being too driven by pragmatic things, not to think about college apps or getting to good colleges too much in these processes of either creating your own club or joining clubs. Just join clubs that you're actually passionate about, do the work because you're actually passionate about it, instead of just trying to use it as a kind of tool to help you get to somewhere. But just really enjoy the journey and do the experience because you actually want to do the experience. So that's one advice that I have, I guess. Yeah, and again, thank you, Zach and Avia and Rachel for putting this event together. I think it's absolutely awesome event for all the high schoolers to learn more about the work that we do behind the scenes here.
Thank you so much, Steve. We're gonna move on to marketing.
You want to go first, Avia?
Yes, I'm so sorry. Okay, yes, so marketing team, we do a little bit of everything. As you can see, oh my gosh, you should totally follow the TEDxPenn Instagram because we run the gram and a lot of promotional activities. And today I just did the Instagram takeover, and that was it was something. Well, you can see it for yourself. But really just finding innovative ways to make TEDxPenn more accessible. I think, speaking for all of our marketing team members here, we just really want to spread the message of TEDxPenn because it really does offer great opportunities to meet people and have very insightful conversations. And literally being here right now, it's been really great to form this high school ambassadors program because I noticed that there is definitely a need to connect TEDxPenn with younger audiences. So that's what we've been working on mainly this year. But I know Rachel has been a part of the team for a few years now. So what has your experience been like?
Yeah, it's been great. And I will say there's sort of a common thread for a lot of us. I realized that we all were sort of involved with TEDx at some point in high school. I also delivered a TED Talk at my high school conference. So I guess that just goes to show you guys are sort of on the right path already. Getting involved at an early start kind of sets you up for success later down the road and getting more involved with TEDx in the future. But it's a great, again, experience that a lot of people have talked about. I think because it's such a big event and so many people know about the TEDx sort of mast, there comes with this sort of interest already built in, and something that a lot of people want to be a part of, that people have a lot of respect for. And so I think just that alone makes it feel like a real privilege that you get to be involved with it. So I've really enjoyed working on the marketing team these past 2.5 years. And I'm glad that we were able to open it up to high schoolers and give you guys some exposure.
Yeah, it's huge props to Avi and Rachel, by the way. This is our first year doing anything like this, and to see it come together so successfully, it just, yeah, big round of applause for them. I'll give it to Ops now.
Hi guys, my name is Cosette, and I'm the Director of Operations this year. I was a general operations team member last year. So this is kind of like a rite of passage. Moving into that leadership role has been really cool this year. I'm originally from Seattle, Washington, and I study psychology and management double major here at Penn. So if anybody has interest in those as well, like feel free to reach out. I'm also happy to give out my email. I also love reading over friends' essays and just like it's a stressful time sometimes in high school. Of course, it's really fun as well, but yeah, I'm very willing to offer any kind of support in that department. I'm a junior. I don't know if I mentioned that before. This is so inspiring. Like, I love hearing about why everyone chose Penn. I feel like that's not something that we've always heard from these people that I see like every single week. So I'm getting re-inspired about this organization. So I hope that you guys are too. And shout out Rowan. I see my little ops high school ambassador. So hi, and hi to anyone else who's also interested in the ops. Don't want to discriminate here. Yeah, but a little bit, I guess I'm going to cut the common thread of everyone having been involved with TED in the past, because I was absolutely not. I didn't even know, like I knew about TED Talks, of course, like that was the main reason why I joined, but I didn't know like what a TEDx event was. I didn't know that there was like, that was even something I could do in high school or even college. Like, I don't know if I just pictured some like ginormous big force that puts these on, but I just like didn't even think about the behind the scenes. But I have like a weird obsession with like commencement speeches on YouTube, and like I have all these saved TED Talks. Like, I just love a good commencement speech. I think it's so inspiring. Like celebrity ones or any kind of one at like any university. I just think they're so such a cool, like vulnerable and powerful way of like conveying some sort of message to a broader audience. And I think like the accessibility of TED Talks is something that I find to be like one of the strongest things about it, is that like you can be anywhere in the world, just like in your room, and be able to like watch these on YouTube and have access to like the world from these talks and from so many experts from everywhere. Yeah, so I pretty much just got into TED because I was like, I loved watching these talks on YouTube in high school and growing up. And when I saw, I was just flipping through like the Penn Club's website, and I saw like it's very recognizable, those big red letters, and that's kind of how I got into it. But yeah, no previous experience. So of course you don't have to have experience to get involved with things. I think that that's like a good takeaway, is just like try something out, apply to different things, even if you're not quite sure if you have the right experience. Like, I think it's always good to put yourself out there, especially if it's something that you're passionate about. To get right into like what operations does, I love this graphic because I feel like it illustrates how overlapped all of the teams are, because even though we kind of have separate teams, mine is about 7. It's me, my assistant director, and then we have 5 other team members, which is a pretty smaller end. It's on the smaller end of teams, which is nice because we get kind of that tight-knit group work, but we also kind of, I like to think, have a hand in every other team as well, just because we our kind of like organizational backbone outside of the curators. We work on merchandise with design. They just make the designs for, the theme related imagery, and we put that on t-shirts and sweatshirts. We're doing quarter zips this year, and tote bags and mugs and stuff for the speaker gifts and merchandise at conference day. With finance, we're working on, we do a pre-conference banquet dinner with all the speakers. So that's something we're working through right now. And we'll work through with finance, kind of getting that worked out as far as paying for the dinner and all that, and also paying for the merchandise that we're talking about before. With S&C, we work on making sure the speakers kind of know what the expectations are for the conference. And with marketing, we work on the website, which is something I hope all of you guys have seen. If not, check it out. It has a lot of information about our past conferences, which is not currently updated, but we're going to be working on that with marketing as well, probably. Yeah, so that's kind of a layout of what you do. I like to think of ops also separated between internal ops and external ops. External ops is a lot of the stuff that I was talking about concerning the conference, but we also do a lot of the more internal things. And then we talked about coffee chats. We do a lot more like plan the team bonding, whether that's doing a nice dinner with, or not like a nice dinner, it's not fancy, but a little dinner with, all of the teams together, or we're doing like an ice skating social in a couple weeks to make sure that there's kind of like cohesion and just like a community within the club and among teams, to make sure that I think like the communication stays open, and it's just like something that we all enjoy to do as well, and to make those friendships and have that community on campus. So yeah, please reach out if you have any other questions or yeah, anything. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Cosette. I'm going to move on, last but not least, to design.
Hello, hi. My name's Gabriel. I'm a senior in the design major of the College of Arts and Sciences, and I'm a member of the design team. Really quickly, I'll say I knew nothing about like TEDx Penn at all before I came to Penn. I wasn't even a design major actually. So I'm really grateful for the experience that the club has given me to be able to work on a design team, which is something that I don't know how many people or how many of you guys are thinking about studying design in college, but it's very valuable to have that experience because most of your work in class is solo, and that's not at all what the world looks like as a working in a design career. You're constantly receiving input from a variety of different people, and working in a team environment is a very useful experience to start getting used to as early as you can, to be honest. Um, and yeah, so people have already mentioned the design team. Some of our responsibilities are just creating all the visual identity and the merchandise for the conference. Most of the teams weekly, or what we do on a weekly basis, is pretty light. We have a weekly meeting that's usually like an hour to two long, and we spend this time critiquing the work that we've been doing by ourselves over the week, and that'll just be to help everyone either grow or refine a current design that we're working on. But most of the actual design work is done individually throughout the week on your own time, so it's not like a super huge time commitment outside of your regular classes and stuff like that. And then just like a quick key takeaway, I was going to say, just reiterating my point about like getting used to working on a design team. I think it's really helpful to get into that workflow. So try to join, and if you're working in design, or if you're thinking about working in design at all, really try to get into collaborative projects. I think they're really helpful and can push your designs really far.
Um, Hi, thanks, Gabriel. My name is Irene, and I'm majoring in design and neuroscience, and I'm also part of the design committee. And TEDxPenn has really given me the opportunity to apply my design skill sets and creativity into creating something that follows like a brand guide and also effectively communicates the theme that of like the annual conferences. And I definitely agree that our members have like diverse array of interests, ranging from computer science all the way to like neuroscience and also like marketing. So we create like animations and logos and also different promotional materials for the conference. And some key takeaways from being a part of design was definitely collaboration and how diverse array of interests come together into creating one design for the conference. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Gabriel and Irene. I would say like design for this year's conference is super, super exciting. Like I can't wait to show it to everyone soon once we start marketing. So be on the lookout for that. I'll let the marketing team take it away for the rest of the presentation.
Great. Thank you so much to all the committees and the speakers that were here today. We really appreciate it. And thank you again to the marketing team heads for organizing this event. Just to wrap things up, we've talked a lot about what we do, but we wanted to shift the focus to you all, the high school ambassadors. We hope that you're already aware, but you are capable of starting and curating your own TEDx event. This is something that we wanted to you all to be aware of. This is something that I was actually fortunate enough to be able to do during my second year of high school, and I had the privilege of working on 3 events through that program. As we have mentioned, organizing one of these events is incredibly fulfilling, as you're able to directly contribute to accessible education and give platforms to often unheard voices. In order to do this, there are some important steps that you'll have to take, including identifying a faculty advisor from your school, as well as obtaining a license, which is actually easier than it sounds. The application is just on the TEDx website. Now I'll hand it over to Erin, who has a little bit more to share about this opportunity.
Thanks, Zach. And again, like all of us here have mentioned, in addition to being a part of a large yet tight-knit community, TEDxPenn is a great opportunity for if you are looking for both professional and personal growth. So you all are more than welcome to join our People and Leadership session on March 25th to learn more on how to form a collaborative team, delegate tasks, secure partnerships, use pre-existent channels, and to ask for help. And with that, this wraps up our TEDx workshop. So thank you all so much for coming, and please feel free to stay after or reach out to us if you have any questions. Thank you.